very good morning, my dear Silent Rose family. Today I wanted to talk to you about serving God. And I would like to begin this by sharing with you an interesting incident I witnessed one day. On a first Saturday, I wanted to just spend some time with the Lord. And so I went about to the local church that was nearby. And as I walked in to sit down in one of the pews, I happened to see that the church's choir was having a rehearsal. This choir consisted of about 15 members, but they only had about 6 or 7 mics. And one of the women standing there was visibly upset about something. She kept looking at the choir director with a very angry face. I just continued on into the church and sat myself down in one of the pews, and I began my usual prayer schedule. And as this was happening, the choir began a beautiful rendition of Ave Maria. It was the most heavenly rendition of that song that I had heard. But suddenly, the sound system made a very strange sound, and after that, 2 of the microphones just completely switched off. And the lady who was earlier visibly upset at the choir director happened to be standing behind one of these microphones. And this lady could not contain her anger anymore. She blew up in front of everybody in that church and started openly having an argument with the choir director. She started screaming at the choir director, saying it was very humiliating that a singer who was as talented as her had to share a microphone to sing a hymn at the church. And then she went on to even criticize the way the choir director was handling the choir and all the resources that the choir needs. She even went on to say to the choir master, "Don't you have an obligation to make sure that we have not only good quality mics, but enough mics for all 15 members to sing properly?" Through all of this, the choir director just quietly stood there and listened to everything that this disgruntled lady had to say. At the end of it, the choir director looked at this lady with the most compassionate look on her face and then asked this lady, "I have a question for you. You have such a beautiful voice and you are so talented in your singing. So I want to ask you, who are you singing for?" This question caught the other woman by surprise. The choir director went on to say, "Are you here to sing for yourself, or are you here to sing for the Lord?" My dear friends, this is a question we need to ask ourselves as well. As God's chosen people, God has given us so many unique talents, a unique identity, a unique way of thinking. And so the big question we need to ask ourselves, what are we using these skills for? Are we using it to glorify ourselves, or are we using it to glorify God? From the context of that choir director, sure, she could have handled the choir and the resources a bit better. There is no doubt that she is doing her best to handle the choir to the best of her abilities. But of course, there may have been room for improvement. But at the same time, she asks a very valid question. Are you going to use your talent to sing for the Lord, or to sing for yourself and earn praises for yourself? Many a times in life, you are going to encounter challenges and obstacles, the way that choir had their mic stop working in the middle of their hymn. Through that choir director's question, God asks us, Are you going to let little hurdles like that stop you from your calling? If we observe the saints' lives, why even Jesus' disciples? Nobody had it easy. Wherever they went, they experienced a lot of humiliation and persecution. In a metaphorical sense, their mic stopped working. But that did not stop them from serving God at all. Even when they were the most unheard, the most misunderstood, or even the most humiliated, they even more faithfully served God without any hesitation. Because for them, it only mattered what God thought about them rather than what people around them think about them. And in everything, they gave their best to God the way Abel gave his best. We have a God who is instantly by our side when we need Him the most, but even otherwise, He is always there with us. So then, why is it that we need to set a timetable to meet God in prayer? In our Christian life, we are called to live a life where we invite God into every little act of service and charity that we do. Every waking moment, every talent, every thought, they are all dedicated to God, in service of the people whom He loves, who are the people we love too. And so, my dear friends, today as you step out into this new day, I invite you to ask yourself, are you using your talents and your abilities to praise God or for a different intention? God bless. Have a wonderful day, dear friends.